Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. And as always, welcome to midnight. I am just under the gun. Okay, I know, story of my life. So, thank you so much for having the grace to not tell me that I slipped a brain cell and forgot to include the random acts of kindness for today. I couldn't believe it. I was at school and I'm like, wait a minute, what's my random act of kindness today? I was like totally trying to figure it out, and then I'm all, you didn't give one? Are you kidding me? Oh gosh. People, if you're just joining us, we are doing 45 random acts of kindness for Lent, which is the 45 days before Easter Sunday. The passion of our Lord for the death and resurrection and the gift that he gave at a chance of salvation. And we are doing 45 small acts of Easter just to give joy, religious or not, just to give some joy in people's lives. And I forgot to set one up. So tomorrow I am doing doubly blessed. This is doubly blessed, which means what we do for another, we actually do for ourselves. So it's a twofer. We're doing a 2-for-1, all right? And what it is, it's kind of interesting. And don't be overwhelmed. You can keep it as simple as you want. But you're going to look at someone in your life that you care about, and you're just going to write them a small note of something you see for their future. Like just a beautiful thought of what you imagine or hope their future to be. And as a gift to yourself, you're going to write one to yourself as well. So I might see someone and say, let's say it's a young teacher right now, and I write her and say, I see leadership qualities in you that make me see you in the future as an administrator. And I believe that you have that talent. And then I turn around and tell myself, in your future, I see you as a vibrant, healthy, productive individual who's contributing to the planet in a fantastic way. So just a nice note of some hopeful thought for someone in your life, and then one for you. And I would love you to share that in the comments below. It'd be brilliant. That just kind of came to me because I was like, Father, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to mess up my 45-day calendar. And then he was like, hon, just do the same intention for someone and yourself. And I was like, right on. I'm all in. All right, so where am I at? I had an insane monkey mind day. If you are not familiar, sometimes monkeys come in this tiny little package, and they like to cause a lot of trouble. They got these little button ears and these innocent little eyes, and all day long, it was the same nightmare. I know better than to go into the teacher's lounge on Mondays and Fridays, because someone intentionally turns it into an insane array of sweets. And sweets are a deficit for me. I have trouble with that. And it was, I just can't even tell you. I'm not even going to go into it because I don't want to provoke anybody, but it was an insane amount. And my little monkey had the best of intentions to eat right today. And I had good intentions too. Oh, God, I don't know. We barely survived, but we did survive, okay? It was so difficult. I had the means, I had the money, I had the time, and I had to just keep fighting my whole way. So I did a couple of things. First of all, I made sure I ate enough. So I always have a little more lunch than is required, but it's just fruit and vegetables, and I allowed myself to just consume it all, which is rare. I usually don't. And I drank all my water. I had 20 ounces, 24, wait, what are we supposed to have? That's how tired I am. Okay, so it's usually 16. So yeah, I had 20 cups of water. Part of it was lemon, half was lemon water, before I even got home. And so I needed that extra fluid. And then for dinner, I had a very simple slaw with a non-fat dressing because I decided I could have dessert. And so for dessert, I went ahead and had a very cool kind of peanut butter almond chocolate peanut butter and ice cream. But the secret ingredient was a huge fat zucchini because that allowed me to bulk it up without additional calories, and I added some, healthy aspects to it. So I allowed myself to have that for dessert. And that was great because tomorrow, by prayer, and we are in serious need of it, what if the coronavirus really is God asking for people to repent? But we don't see that anymore because we're so amazing in this day and age that we ignore thousands of years of history for the way that God has responded to our nonsense. But if it is indeed, I am offering prayer. So safely for my health and for the planet, I fast until 5 o'clock. And then I have just some celery on my way home from school and a very humble salad. And I will be doing that tomorrow. So I allowed myself to have that nice cream. And that was great. But like I said, I was freaking out. So I had to have a talk with my monkey. And then I used my urge jar and I put in a ton. I made it through yesterday and I made it through today. And I just said, urge on. I mean, this is an understatement that I survived this many urges. And part of it is I'm going through a lot. I mean, I just started the Tanny Raw Reset, and you can look it up. She's on every social media platform, and maybe you can join next time. I started the Tanny Raw Reset. I wanted to be actively engaged in that. I hadn't even gone to bed until 1:30 in the morning, which was really funny because Tanny is usually getting up at that time. And tonight I'll do a little better. And so the timing doesn't work for me, but I can't stand not commenting because I love the play-by-play. It helps me learn to repeat what is said, but I'm still struggling, right, with a superintendent who died unexpectedly, less than stellar, and that is an understatement, feedback on my lesson that I did the other day. So that was very disheartening, and I'm trying to keep that in perspective. What I know at this time of year, I have 3 teachers I already know that have been let go from their position, and that was my truth last year. And what I told myself last year was that I would never be devastated again in the way that I was last year. That in coming to a new district, I would have the understanding that it is their right, I don't agree with it, but it is their right to dismiss me for any reason and for no reason for the first 2 years that I'm serving. And so that is, like, I just thought, why freak out? I mean, yeah, the feedback wasn't what I hoped, but with the understanding that they can let me go without any justification, it's out of my power. So chill, right? And just know you'll be provided for in the event that that occurs. I don't believe it's going to. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I was devastated and looked like it. I turned into a 3-year-old with a really pouty face. And even the principal was like, I can tell you're being harder on yourself than me. I'm not so sure. I felt like my beep got kicked pretty hard, so I'm not so sure I was being harder, but I was definitely going in a very ugly way. And right away, food came to mind, and a desire to comfort myself with food, and the reset barely started. I mean, I could still go ahead and binge my head off and then, be well tomorrow. I mean, there's a ton more days. The whole thing started going crazy. And then I just had to have that chronic talk of not again, okay? And not today, Satan. And I don't like to give Satan that much credit, and I certainly am accountable for my own actions. But what I know is that he knows that that is a trial for me. And so to give me temptation, like a teacher's lounge full of every treat that 1 second ago was my food, okay? To give me a ton of stores pumping out all of the smells the whole way home. To give me an insecurity that's always saying I'm not enough and that I'm not worth it, only to feel affirmed by that today, and suggesting that why do I think I'm worthy of wellness? Tanny Raw asks that we know our why, and that we be very specific in knowing our why, because that'll carry us. And it is always my biggest struggle. This is my 7th reset, and like 3 out of the 7, I've written my why and didn't believe it any time that I was writing it up. So with grace, I'm hoping to actually affirm what my why is and make it strong enough to carry me. But in my insecurities, it's often like, why do you think you're worth it? Why are you, worthy of this? It gets very ugly very fast, and it's why it's so hard for me to commit things to paper. But I'm game, because doing different gets me different results. And this is my year. I know it's my year to just let the nonsense go, to let the weight go, to be strong in my body, to be strong in who I am. So I don't know what God's plan is for me. I don't know what God's plan is for the planet. And I know when I tell him, Father, I will stay and be a cheerleader for your people to the last second, that he says, you don't know what you ask, Juliana. Like the apostles who wanted to be at his right side, he said, you do not know what you're asking. I don't know what I'm asking. I just know that I believe in people, and I can't stand the idea of giving up on them a second before, which is why it was so distressing over what my principal was saying, because she just couldn't see it. And I was like, oh. She kept implying that because of the stress of my nephew, because of the stress of whatever, that I haven't been my jovial self or whatever, and that maybe I'm not aware of it. And I was like, God doesn't let me get away with things. He calls me on my stuff in the moment, in real time. And so I'm pretty good at making amends, having awareness, but it is something I'll pray about and consider. But I understood that for the rest of my career, I may be let go every single year, and I need to see that as an opportunity to shine my light somewhere else, to be hope somewhere else, and to take in all the lessons and grace that God has for me. So I'm affirming that. But thank you guys again, because I'm just so surprised with our huge audience. With our 133 followers, that nobody dared to say, Jules, what's up, girl? And where's that intention? So thank you very much. Again, for those of you who are in on Random Acts of Kindness, you will do an act for another and do it for yourself. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for allowing me to show up as is on my tripod. I have a little banter going, saying, yeah, tripod Jules, here I am. All right, until we talk again, best of all, know that every day is a chance to be light, to make a best choice, to reflect on what people present and either apply it for change or to let it go. And best of all, know that you're blessed.